much playtime makes Stitches hungry.
We're going to Game 5 between Synergy and Tricked Esports. They are putting on a show right now, and do remember, this is a weighted match. Whoever loses here most likely will be going to the Crucible.
I'm happy that we're going into the 5th game. We've been talking about it before the series started, then all of a sudden it was a 2-0, and we're like, well, that is not going as expected, but now we are exactly in the game that we expected to have. So it's awesome.
And it all comes down to one throw pit. One throw pit on Cursed Hollow has started this momentum. Let's get ready for our next match. Which battleground are we going to for game number 5, the final one in this best of 5 series? Tricked Esports will be taking Sky Temple here, so the first pick will be going over to Synergy.
Once again, the global party is starting. The Haka Shakalaka and a little bit of false set action are potentially deciding what's going to happen here. And I guess we could have that throw pit. It's not going to be the original one on Tomb of the Spider Queen, but this one is still pretty exciting.
It's pretty deadly, man. That's why Falstad, again, is a great one on this battleground, just having that control around. I wonder if we're going to see another Vala ban. It really seems like Synergy, when they don't have Neon and Vala, the aggression, the kills don't seem to pile up as much.
I actually don't think that they're going to ban it in this battleground. I think the added value that we've been talking about with the arrow build that is being used usually on the map is just too strong.
Made it worth it.
Yeah, I feel like the ban was actually pretty smart because you don't ban Tacita and you tell your opponent, okay, you have two choices here. Either go for the Tacita or you go for the Greymane. You can pick one of the two, but if you want to go onto the Immortal, then Greymane is going to be the better shot for you. If you are trying to play like one of these double support comps, you want to go into a Tacita. So it was a very smart decision on the last map by Trick to ban out the Vala here. I really think this was one of the smartest moves that they made so far in the drafting process.
Yeah, one has to wonder if, again, the second ban there with on the variant, it just seems so impactful in the entire matchup, and the taunts just being so strong that it just did not work out whatsoever. Yeah. I wonder if you leave your final pickup for Tracer or whatever on your 4th and 5th draft there and you grab your Warriors instead, would that have been a better adjustment for Synergy?
I don't think so, because I feel that Trick would have banned Tracer in the second rotation.
Sure.
If you have a Tacita on the opponent's side, there's only so many hyper carries that can really combo off with that, and I feel Tracer is something that they're to a certain extent known for, so Trick would probably have banned.
All right, well, here we go. Game number 5 is getting started. The first ban of the day will be going over to Synergy here for this match. Let's find out what they will be taking away from Tricked Esports. The name of the game is Globals, but they have elected to get rid of Horrify. And had this been game number 1, we'd be criticizing. But now that we're in game number 5 and we've seen Gul'dan be devastating to Synergy, this ban makes sense.
It's the beauty of best of 5s. You have on the last 2 maps, I would say, usually a bit of a meta drafting. Also developed between the teams where one team just says, we don't want to deal with this. You're too strong with that. It is impacting our own playstyle just way too much, so we're going to get rid of it. Gul'dan is perfect here. Tacita is being banned out again, and immediately the pickup Synergy is saying, like, give us our Vala, please.
Yeah. And so over here for Tricked Esports, I think you grab Lucio and Arthas, do you think? Or do you think you get Falstad and potentially Lucio?
To be honest, at this point, I have no idea what they're going to prioritize. Usually, I would say take one of the globals at least. Arthas has been a massive priority for them in every single draft we've seen. So either way, I think they're going to be happy with it. They have too many tools at this point right now that they can use. Again, the global play, I would actually think they are most likely leaning towards the Arthas over the globals. It feels like it's more their style.
Yeah, and I think the Lucio kind of fits in that style. You get the Arthas engaged, you take it away from Vala, it's too powerful. They go Arthas Falstad though.
Yeah, because I don't think that Lucio is necessarily what they need.
Sure.
With them saying we are happy with the Malfurion, I think they are fine with this either way. So they are saying the Arthas, and they have a global. So this is, I feel this is a pretty good compromise for them. Because one way or another, they're going to get a healer that they're happy with. Let's say Synergy says, okay, we're going to pick the Lucio, and we're going to ban out the Malfurion. Then Trick is still going to have an Oriel available, or they're going to have a Rhaegar, which they are good with. But right now, Synergy is not even like facing them with that problem, because they're just saying, we pick the Oriel. Zefka has the opportunity to go into the Detainment Strike, and now this is actually going to be interesting for a very different reason, because nah, we're not going to see a double support next to this.
Well, I just want to ask you, do you think the Lucio loses priority here, or is this just losing priority between these two teams because we're in Game 5 on Sky Temple? Is it because he doesn't have much to bounce around?
I think it's losing priority because of the teams that we're seeing here. Like just the playstyle. Trick likes to lock down targets with the Arthas and following up with the Malfurion route. It's what they have the most impact with. We're having at the same time Synergy, normally really the Oriole on Sefkaje because he has lost the 10-min strikes. He really likes to have that impact with the hero. And the synergy that they get out of Vala Oriole is immense. Because the aggression that we see from Neon on the hero leads to a lot of hope and just utility on Oriole that really works well for them the way they play the game. Whereas with other teams, if you're trying to sit back and poke a little bit more, you might not have the same healing power that he's able to provide here. So I think that's one of the reasons why they're prioritizing this a little bit differently.
Just wanted to ask, it's always interesting to know the draft between our teams, so our viewers at home get to know all this fun stuff, right? Lucio's still a solid pickup, but between these two guys, it really starting to make sense why they're going this route.
We could still see it for Tricked if they want to just like play with Arthurs and having like allowing Arthurs to just like speed into these fights or have a good retreat strategy. Lucio would be good here, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Just look at these bans.
Yeah. These bans, these are the two heroes this matchup that has given Tricked Esports a chance against Synergy.
Yeah.
They have taken them both away and say, all right, what else do you have? We've already dealt with the Arthas. We know we can handle that. But no variant, no Golden available? Bring it.
Banning the Haka globals, what do we care?
Yeah.
Just like get rid of the two that can lock us down so that we are not ending up in that stun lock. We are fine with everything else.
There's a Malfurion pickup for Tricked Esports
And a
move into a
Nubarak.
Nubarak. Okay.
Who would have thought that we're going to see Arthur's and Nuve again at that front line if they get it? It's like, yeah.
Seems like it's pretty good for them.
Yeah.
Kind of works out. So, Synergy over here. Do you grab another healer, or are you okay with a solo Oriole?
I would probably... This is the interesting part that I said when they banned Sonya, because I thought for a moment, I don't think they're going to grab another healer with this, but I was considering for a moment as well. That's why I said they could actually ban out the Lucio, pick the Malfurion, and all of a sudden put the opponent into a position where they cannot play the double healer. But I feel with a Zarya in the mix now, you don't need to go into the second healer on top of that too. So I would more lean towards them picking a solid front line and then... Yeah, one more frontliner. And then I feel like it's basically just a question. I would probably pick a second damage.
Yeah. So for frontliner, it's going to be Johanna, actually. And then, oh, wow. Probius has been brought out in game number 5 with everything on the line. And here's the thing. There's Lee Mean being picked up. Probius isn't that odd of a hero. His wave clear is insane when it comes to Battlegrounds. He can handle anything you throw at him, and as long as he gets it set up with the photon cannons and the pylons, he'd be quite devastating.
He's so annoying.
He's pretty annoying. I mean, I'm someone who generally likes annoying characters. When I see a Probius in the other team, I may drop an eye roll here and there.
Okay, I hate this character so much right now. Like, I'm in the unfortunate situation that I just moved from Europe to North America.
Yeah.
So I have to play new accounts, or on fairly new accounts. So that means that in order to play my accounts up to level 5, or my heroes, I have to play a lot of quick match at this point.
Probius.
Guess who's on free week right now? It's Probius. Every game I play against Probius, and it's just like, ah! Yeah, that little probe. These probes annoyed me in StarCraft 2, and they annoy me in Heroes as well. They are following me.
Do you want a wacky meta tip? Just how to break down Probius?
From you? No.
I mean, I got you. I'm saying I got the answer. I figured it out the other day.
All right, hit me.
It's Nova, actually. I'm not even kidding. I'm not kidding.
I grant you that for the quick matches. The problem is I need to level characters up, not my Nova.
That's fair. That's fair.
I need to level the stuff that I'm actually trying to use in Hero League later.
All right. Well, into this draft, look over at Synergy. Synergy right now has a strong lane formation with Vala, Zarya, and Ariel. They can put 3 people on one lane and pretty much destroy it if they want to. Probius, on the other hand, can clear a lane and hold one by himself. He's actually pretty devastating. And when Caldor mentions being annoying, he is pesky. Even when you go for a gank, it's hard to kill him.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can gank him. If
Yeah.
you set the gank up, that's perfect. So you alone on a one-on-one lane, Probius is a bit of a nightmare. But if you actually have someone like Falstad moving in, if you have an Nubarak diving in and you can follow up on that, then you have a much better chance of taking him down. So I feel the draft that Synergy has is pretty cool. And especially having the solo laner here, Probius can be annoying. But it's all about, can they keep him alive, yes or no? That's, I feel, for me, looking at this, a pretty important part of this. Because the rest of that draft is pretty fantastic.
It all comes down to coordination. This is it. Game number 5. Who is the team that is me primed for the Crucible? And who's going to move up in the rankings? Let's find out here on Sky Temple.
Game on, and it is the last map of the day here at HGC Europe between Tricked and Synergy. And to the left, it's Gnappo on Malfurion, Alex the Pro G on Arthas, Eternal on Falstad, Crosby on Liming, and Rema Baller on the Anubarak.
In the red team, Synergy pulling out the probe. Sepka will be on Ariel. We're going to have Johanna being played by Power. Vala will be played by Neon. Sir Ice Cream on Zarya. And the probe himself will be Hydra.
It was a pretty shaky start for Tricked Esports here today, losing the first two maps, and especially on Braxis, they were taken out within 7.5 minutes. But right now, we are on the 5th map, so whichever team wins this one is for now out of danger. They will move away from the Crucible and push the opponent far down. This is a really important game for both of these teams. They have showed fantastic strategies so far. This is the final map. This is what counts. This is what it comes down to.
This is where the 3 lane is. Up here on the top, we're going to have Johanna and Probius rotating together. Falstad is there to intercept in the bottom right, hoping to get some pressure on Hydra, but with Power showing up, they will do it. Look at this, man. We got a little take, man, ferrying the cute little probe around. What a cute strategy.
That was a really smart move by Eternal. It didn't work out, but it was really smart. So basically, Eternal sees Probius in the middle, and he feels eventually that probe is going to move down to the bot lane. So I'm just going to hide at the to the right side. I'm going to intercept him, burst him down, try to kill him, but even if I can't confirm the kill, I will burst him to health, and then I'm going to be fine. But with Johanna rotating with Probius, that actually didn't work out. So we've been talking about Probius being a bit vulnerable to ganks. That's the counter right there.
Yeah.
You basically have a bodyguard.
You have amazing wave clear. You can rotate between middle and bottom lane. 2 Ws and a Q. Drops it down for Probius. And if you need to, Condemn can be there for Johanna if they need to clear up quickly enough. So there it is. And now, meanwhile, on the top lane, Tricked Esport is forced to deal with this massive pressure from this tried and true combo of the Zarya, Ariel, and Vala. And already they've gotten turrets burned down, which means forts are going to be focused.
This is a really interesting strategy that we have with that rotation. It's not only the wave clear that you mentioned, it's really literally a bodyguard for Probius to make sure that he can't be done upon. So that is... It's a pretty cool move. Alex at that top lane. Alright, that's a kill against Arthas. So yeah, goodbye my sweet prince, you're dead.
Whoops.
And that is, of course, an easy temple up to the top and an early level 4 for Synergy.
Hydra keeps up with the rotations. Johanna's being enough of a pest here in the middle to kind of make Tricked Esports pull a few people over to the middle to make sure that Synergy doesn't rotate in and take some of the shots, which is allowed for Probius to keep up with the clears. They're taking a nice experience lead, 5 to 4.5, and Synergy also moves the dust people down to the middle to where they grab the last few shots of the temple.
Falstad flying in now. Probius is taking the bot lane again, and you might have seen it on the minimap. Again, we saw Eternal with Falstad blocking the path of Probius so that the rotation between mid and bot lane was not that easy for the probe. Doing really well here on the Falstad, making big plays. It looks like really small and subtle things, but this is really what can give you an edge. Just zone an opponent out of the experience range to make sure that they can't just like grab that extra wave. So that was smart play by Eternal, but Probius still being annoying here and now focusing on the mid lane.
And level 4, he's built Shield Capacitor, which gives him 10% of his maximum health as an actual shield, which makes it a little bit hard for him to kill. Sometimes level 4, you see the extra movement speed being available. You bring down the cooldown reduction on it so you can keep zing between lanes and keep clearing them up. However, Hydra is all about surviving here.
And also, we have now Creed of the Hunter taken for Vala. One of those rare occasions when you can actually make something happen with this, thanks to the double support, but Vala is in trouble. There comes the Ice Cream with a quick shield on the Zarya as the bot lane is heavily focused now on the side of Synergy.
They're trying to protect these Giants. The Giants, the longer they stay alive, the more pressure you get on, especially when you're aided with Zarya here. Finally, an orb comes in to take those 2 Giants out, but the turrets have lost out on their ammo, thanks to Probius rotating between the middle and the bottom lane, and now the rest of the team comes down to clear them out. Big, massive engagement, though, from Tricked Esports as they turn around to fight.
Neon is doing this so well on his Vala. Like, he is so aggressive with that hero, moving in with such low health and always keeping himself alive. Very impressive here on this part. So right now what we're actually having him do is just trying, of course, to get his stacks up on a Creed of the Hunter. And the problem is that you don't really get a whole lot out of the talent up to the point where you finally completed them. The 10% attack speed are pretty much negligible. So these doing really well with that. But still at the bot lane, there is trouble brewing as Zarya is taken down by a great gank on the side of Trick Esports.
Yeah, big rotation. Alex Prodigy coming in with the Howling Blast. The lockdown. Nappy follows up with the Root, and that was a quick kill. Probius applied pressure to the top lane and the middle lane, but Falstad now on babysitting duty is trying to keep that fort alive. If that fort goes down, Synergy gets a big boost in experience, which gets him closer to level 10. Trick Esports wants to keep him away from level 10 as they get the bottom temple.
Yeah, so this temple down at the bot lane is going to be super important now. But the top lane, Probius, of course, doing work. Neon still getting those auto attacks in. Gets a stun here. Li Ming with a follow-up. Nearly getting the kill. Tries to confirm it. Oreo with the heals. And Neon is, wow, still able to keep himself alive and moves out.
Yeah, that was an odd moment. Neon actually stood still there and kept auto-attacking Rimmer as he was just like, okay, well, no one's going to contest me. And Rimmer turned around with the big impale and that allowed Crosby to come in and bring out the damage. Neon getting a little bit too cocky there. It could have cost him his life.
Yeah, definitely. This looked very much like he would die. So I thought he would move back, but he didn't. And that's one of his trademarks on the other hand. He stays in and is aggressive, and he just doesn't die in these situations. He has 30 stacks already on Creed of the Hunter, and this is really one of the talents where you can also distinguish between a really good player and mediocre players. Because there's players that just won't be able to get these auto attacks in, and that is most of them actually. So in this setup, you have the shields on the Zarya, you have the heals from an Oriel, and you have a very aggressive player on Vala like Neon that we've been talking about for the entire time already, how much he likes to be in these infights. And he gets that value out of the trade because he's able to finish it so much faster than other players.
Clever play here by Hydra, by the way. He came down and dropped his pylon on the left side so that Synergy could see a flank coming in, but Alex and Proji goes in for the big flank around the corner. They turn around and focus down Neon. Here is Power on the left side, trying to escape. Ariel eventually should be blown up as well. Sefka brings out some damage, saves the Aegis because he knows there's no point in using it, and that is going to be some big pickups in Trick Esports.
That was perfect by Trick. This is really a typical example of Synergy staying too long. This flank wrecked them hard. Look at what just happened with that flank. It's not only that the kills happen, we have 2 kills against Synergy. The fort has been annihilated, and they are now completely on the back foot. They need to try and get some value out of Probius pushing up at the top. But this is a prime example of Synergy getting a good position, staying too long, and all of a sudden on the way back getting flanked and everybody taken out. If they move back 5 seconds earlier, they're completely fine and they're in a great spot.
And the problem is, too, it's a hard flank to see coming your way. They had Probius on the left side. They had all 5 members there. They dropped the pylon, and they go, okay, we have an anchor. We have a pylon on the left. You can see if someone comes in for rotation. But Falstad and Arthas did the big, massive rotation all the way around and got the pickup. And I think I agree with you. Synergy didn't even get the fort down to low health on the left side. There was no reason for them to stay that long. And now they're on the back foot, as you mentioned. And they're in a spot where if they lose 1 or 2 members, a boss call can be made, and Trick Esports can push in.
Risk assessment is really important here. What do I get if I stay here, and what do I lose if it backfires for me? And of course you have to take calculated risk. You cannot only go for the safe plays, but this is just a bit of a trend with them. But still, we are still on level 12 for both sides, so it was of course a bit of a blowback for them, but overall it's still a position where they are on even eyes with Trick Esports. But I like that Trick is also committing to Cocoon again, because they realize what this composition is actually meant to do for Synergy. Is they're saying, like, we have to bring the fight to them, we have to force them into these battles and isolate some of those healers so that we can get that kill against the Vala, for example.
Well, for now, temples are being traded. Damage in the middle fort here for Synergy. They should be able to grab both forts, if I'm counting this correctly. Well, Arctis has the bottom, so he's getting pressure on the top right. So far, Synergy should be able to hit 13. There is being a big moment where both of our teams hit their power spikes. However, with Arthas not being here, oh wait, he's on the rotation. Synergy should be aware of this because shots have stopped firing in the bottom.
The poke is really strong here. Once again, a quick stun, but the immediate heal. Neon moves back, but still eats those missiles from Li Ming. Is trying to get a couple of hits in, and Johanna always attempting to block these orbs, but they are rather low. Oriel is in a really awkward spot right now. Aegis is herself, as we have them moving in again. Good heals coming in. Nubarok diving into the back. Li Ming is incredibly low. Power is moving away. Cocoon has been used, but the root against Johanna could be the downfall of the front line.
Solid job by Hydra. He drops a foot on charge. Trick Esports comes in and clears out the pylons and sets another one up. And Synergy holds there, even with Cocoon connecting and them not really having the damage to fight back. Trick Esports was forced to retreat, but a big fight between our two teams.
Yeah, they are really exchanging blows over every single one of these temple shots. Synergy is ahead in overall experience now, but Alex moves back down to the temple to try and get some more structure pressure in. Overall, Synergy is in the better spot. They have a better structural position on the map with them already taking out every single fort on the map, and they have also the better experience count now. They move in again. This is a fight over the Siege Giant camp. Setting up. Falset is not here yet. They take the camp. More shots fired against Alex. This is a great ult on Zarya. Well done. Isolating Alex. Taking off this down. Great play by Synergy.
Yeah, he came out with that, dropped it, and the Mighty Gust also got used, which makes Synergy move over and grab the boss. They know the boss control is at a minimum here for Trick Esports. They have to get an insane wave of force and maybe get a big cocoon for them to even take away this boss. So Synergy takes it instantly, and now they have a big power play for that bottom lane.
Aggressive play once more by Synergy. They are really doing well here. Again, we have to watch out for them maybe being over-aggressive. Can they move back? Do they have the discipline this time? But they're really pushing the envelope whenever they have an advantage. This is their trademark. This is something that they love to do. And they move in again at that bot lane, whereas Falstad is starting to push the top a little bit, but had to move back already. Trick is gearing up for the defense.
Yeah, they are, and if they give Hydra 10 seconds, he can get down 2 pylons, and he has Photon overcharge. So they do have an anchor to retreat into. Mighty Gust is spawning soon for Falstad, but he's already on the defense here on the back left side. He may have to use that to save this keep. The keep being focused here. Volo working in the auto attacks. Hydra is set up. Sefka with a detainment strike.
Once again, Alex is in trouble, and you're so right. Hydra having that retreat for them, protecting it is so important. The keep is nearly down, not quite. Neon is about to drop it, doesn't do it, but we have it finally broken apart by Probius. Well done here. Good job on Synergy, and a massive lead in experience. Synergy in this intense game, this last map of the best of 5, takes a significant lead over Trick Esports.
And they can get 16 here and set up in the middle. Without the boss being around for Trick Esports to contest around, they can't force Synergy away from this area. If Probius gets set up in the middle, they're going to have a very hard time breaking this. So Trick Esports, even down with a talent disadvantage, I would recommend getting a little bit aggressive here. You do not want to get Probius in a spot where he has 2 pylons up.
Also, quickly mentioning it, we have on Creed of the Hunter 62 stacks right now for Neon. He also went Gloom against Li Ming. With all that damage that comes out from her, he wants to negate some damage. He did not go super aggressive. He realizes that he has to be able to just mitigate some of the damage that comes out of Li Ming, since she has been the biggest threat to Vala thus far.
Trick Esports, their power play is to fake maybe a pressure play down the bottom right and get on the keep, which would pull Synergy back. Synergy doesn't bite though, they only see Falstad. Johanna on the left side is isolated for the moment. With Iron Skin, she'll be able to survive for now, and Sir Ice Cream steps up to bring in the shield. 16 right around the corner for Trick Esports, but every second they wake, another tick is hitting their keep.
Hydra with beautiful setups on Probius there. Very annoying for Trick to deal with and to engage into. Here's the level 16 now. They have to make a move. Falstad again with the split experience. Eternal doing a great job with that, but they're starting to move in. Already completing Season Marksman as well. Eternal needs to barrel roll away, but does though in time. Johanna cannot suck him back in with a Condemn, and now they're starting to go for the poke battle.
The last few shots going over to Trick Esports, so they get a little bit of damage on that fort in the top right. Synergy moving forward to set up, pylon on the bottom left. They would like to get one in the top right corner by Zarya's positioning for now. Alex Aproji floating around does take over the temple. 16 to 17. Our talons are tied.
Super intense here right now. The first fort at the top, the last fort is falling. We have the keep at the bot lane not being an issue that they lost it just simply because the wave was pushed out by Falstad. That was important to buy them time fighting over here. But once again, Neon moves in, gets the shots against Alex. They're trying to converge on Vala. Here comes the Cocoon. It's already out. Great ult use by Zarya, zoning them out completely, and Alex is totally isolated.
Alex Aproji low on health. Twilight Dream comes out. Everyone turns around and looks at Nape. He drops the ice block, but he falls. Neon with the strength.
Oh, Alex is getting hammered into the ground by Neon. One attack after another, and he is able to turn him down. This is a 5 versus 3 at this point, and they don't even go for the temple just yet. They move in to take the second keep. They have 25 seconds until we're having Malfurion back to business. Hydra is setting up, can cover the retreat again with Probius. They're trying to push this in slowly and steadily.
They have to be careful. Explosion zone up in a second. If they can isolate somebody here and get a pickoff, that could be the full keep for them. They start moving in. They do have to be careful though. You see them posturing very safely here. Reason being, Crosby on that Li Ming.
finally, this is the discipline we've been talking about. They go in, they drop the wall, and they realize, guys, we cannot do a whole lot more here. Do we really overstay this just to get some damage on the keep? We won't be able to take it down anyways. And they decide to move back as a unit. They keep the advantage, focus on the objective, and just focus around that.
Caldor, look in the bottom lane. There are 3 catapults starting to group up around the bottom left side here. Synergy can delay this for as long as they would like in the top right. They even start to pull back. Alex Probius moving in. He is going to pop in. Oh no! Falset flies in and picks up Vala.
That was huge. Vala down is massive. Anubaraka and Falset in the backline. They get a hold of Vala, take her down. Now all of a sudden Hydra is in a little bit of trouble as well. Remabola trying to lock him down, but Hydra moving away. It goes for Zarya, and she is dead. It's a double kill against Synergy. The bot lane, as you said, is pressuring in the meantime. How is Trick now going to do this? They need to at least send someone down to deal with that big push in the bot lane.
Sefka has been surviving forever on the left side. Falstad finally trying to go for the kill. Power makes a big rotation though to the top lane. He's going to start putting apply pressure on that keep. So now 2 keeps are down. So overall, Synergy could be in a spot to defend this. This is the only play that Trick Esport had. They had to send Falstad back to defend the catapult. So they grab the boss and they can get a big massive push in the bottom right. But will enough members of Synergy be up to defend?
This is intense. The camp is taken, top lane is pressuring, and let's not forget the keep was just taken out by Johanna taking the last few shots up at the top, which means that the camp plus catapults are pushing really fast towards the core. Boss at the bot lane. How much can Trick get out of this? Once more, we have Synergy setting up, and keep in mind, they are so close to level 20 now.
They are so close to level 20. Probius needs a couple of pylons up. They could use their photon overcharge to defend this keep. Neon got focused down there as Rimmer goes in for the aggressive engage. He turns around with the multi-shot, applies some damage. Alex Probius leading the charge though, and this boss is very robust.
They can't lose anyone. Synergy can't lose anyone. And Trick Esports, they need to try and see if they can grab a kill. They need to keep first of all, but here comes Anubarak, goes in. Cocoon is already on the ground. Power of Dreams in the back. Silence, take it down. This is huge. They get the kill against the front line. And with Johanna down, how much more can they get? Are they able to jump in again? No, the Howling Blast misses Vala, and they can defend the boss.
Trick Esports claws their way into a keep kill that gets Catapult pushing in the bottom so they can even out that lane there. But they do need to start heading back home. That top lane pressuring in could be core damage. Look at this, a couple of catapults. They also have a big mercenary push as well. Trick Esports for the moment are going to grab Giants in the bottom right, just attempting to keep Synergy back. We are going to hit 20 at the same time between these two teams.
This is such an awesome game. And by the way, just coming back to that, also 89 stacks currently on Creed of the Hunter, showcasing a bit of the problem here. 17 minutes in. At first, Vala was doing fantastic, but now with all the pressure that Trick pushed up, she does not get those auto attacks in anymore. But once the talent is completed, that is going to be a power spike for her. And with level 20 and having the Farfly Quiver available, this is going to be big for them. So if they can complete the talent and just fight 20 with Vala being safely in the back, that would be a big part for them.
That it will. They'll be able to bring down that Arthas. And the moment Arthas falls for Trick Esports, that's the moment their composition starts to fall. Vala can start chasing in there. Ariel can keep up with the heals. So that level 20 power spike is important. Power moves forward for the Temple here.
Yeah, and let's not forget Hydra is barely getting out of there. Alex is in trouble, in so much trouble. Needs to use the Legion of Northern. Does it immediately. Tries to go in. Once again, grabbing it up with an attempt to go for the Twilight Dream. Gets it through the kill against Vala. That's the worst case scenario. Zarya is down 2. Trick Esports with a double kill against Synergy this late in the game.
Hydra trying to get some damage in, but the Photon Overcharge will fall, and that means no Vala being available. There isn't much wave clear available or much fighting available for Synergy. All they can do is try to peel out with their Probius and get a couple of their damages down, but they don't have much damage. Trick Esports grouping up, starting to move in. Repulsion pulls Ariel into the fight.
Oh, they're trying to delay. Oh my god, they try to flank a bit because they know that Trick is going for the core. They were attempting to delay, but what a great play by Liming, just pushing Ariel into the fight and taking her down immediately. Hydra is about to die as well. This is game Trick Esports. 3 games in a row. It looks like they are able to actually clutch out a victory against Synergy. Falstad dies. Is Power of Dream able to delay this long enough?
He's hoping to. The Cocoon comes out to stop him. Vala's up in 3 seconds, but the core is already down to 40%, down to 30%. Trick Esports puts all damage into the core. Crosby bringing out the damage, and that's going to be, wait a minute, is it it? Yes, it is. Tricked Esports will win with a 3-over-2 victory.
Unbelievable performance by Trick. They win 3 games in a row after losing the initial 2 against Synergy. What a... like, they were so far behind on this game as well.
That was an incredible test of mental fortitude for that team. They came back and won 3 games in a row, as you just mentioned. And as you also stated, they were behind. They had 2 keeps down, catapult pressure, and they did all the right moves in the late game, and they got the picks they needed.
They kill against Vala at the top lane, where Falstad and Anubura go in and take her down. That was really the turnaround. At that point, they were able to grab experience. They got several kills of that. They took an objective. This was where they came back into the game. It's a heartbreaking situation for Synergy, but for Trick, it is a fantastic turn of events.
These are our bottom 3 teams, you know, BGNA, Synergy, and Trick Esports, and we just saw one of the best of 5 series so far that we might see this weekend. That was how in-depth these teams are. And suddenly now, Synergy has to face the Crucible in the next couple of weeks. It's something they have to deal with. Trick Esports finally getting that leg up that we've been wanting to see from them in the first few weeks of HGC. Incredible game, man. I'm just purely electric right now. I want to go hit some keyboards, you know?
I mean, that Probius play was really well thought out. They did everything they needed to do there. They moved back. They showed the discipline. It was just really, in some of these team fights, they could not keep Vala alive. Also, with that last move, Malfurion going in for the silence, making sure that Oriel can't use anything there. Vala falling. And that is really the linchpin. If you take Vala out, then all of a sudden this strategy falls apart. It's all about enabling her to be that hyper carry that Neon loves to play.
Yeah, at that point you have no damage whatsoever. I mean, you have Photon Overcharge on Probius, and once that's done, what do you have? You have your W's, but any smart team isn't going to walk into those and give a triple kill up to the probe. So, really unfortunate spot there, but Trick Esports ends it. Also, the last second trying to slow down the fights, the repulsion coming in, and it's knocking Ariel in. Trick Esports, the last 3 to 4 minutes of that game was just enough, and they really showed that they've been working hard to become better as a team, and it showed here in this best of 5.
Yeah, it definitely showed. And you said it coming into this. It's so sad that we can't have all of them, just like keep them in the league right now, that some of them have to go through the Crucible. But this series just shows how close these 2 teams are. And Synergy played fantastic, but at the end, it's unbelievable that Trick turned this around.
Yeah, and completely. And now Synergy suddenly in a spot where they got to start thinking about the teams that are coming through the Open Division. Who do they have to face off against? Can they prepare for them? As a team, they've grown a lot, but have they grown enough to actually handle teams that have been playing themselves in the last few weeks?
Yeah, and especially when we're talking about the Open Division, there's a couple of fantastic teams that are currently trying to push into the league, so there's a lot of competition. This is something that has to be on Synergy's mind now as well. But they made a great showing today, and they've shown that they are starting to eliminate weaknesses that we pointed out in the past, that they themselves acknowledged where they said, we struggle with this, and they're getting so much better with it right now. It's gonna be awesome just to see the next few games that they play here.
Yeah, I think there was 3 times in this series where I was like, good. They've made a call that they could be passive on, which is something that we haven't seen from them in the past. Now, of course, there was that bottom Sky Temple one on the bottom fort that did hurt them, but I don't think they made an incorrect call. I think they read the situation a little bit incorrectly because of the map. With Probius being around that area on that bottom left fort and the pylon being up, you could assume that you're safe. But Trick Esports did a very long, overextended gank, and it wound up working out for them. And it was just on one of those days, sometimes the strategy just doesn't fully work out for you. So, Trick Esports, man.
Yeah.
How happy are you for them?
I mean, I'm sad for Synergy, but I'm really happy for Trick Esports. The thing is also, I feel Eternal just played out of his mind here.
That's true.
He had absolutely fantastic gusts, and also he completed his seasoned marksman so super fast during this game, and just like always put the pressure onto the front line. That was really strong. He had great kills. The 1 kill against Vala that turned it all was to a huge part his success, and then also that flank that we've been talking about. When Synergy stayed a bit too long, trying to push for that bottom fort, all of a sudden you have Arthas moving in, you have that gust that comes in from the side, a good flank. So Eternal definitely having a huge part of the success here today.
I want to talk about Synergy and their weaknesses that they showed today. What are some things that they have to start thinking about in the future? You have your Horrifies and Gul'dan, so obviously they clump up a little bit too much and they don't respect those type of AoE heroics that could go off. And then also, hard engage like Varian seems to be an issue for them. What are some things that they can work on to make sure to handle that in the future?
I think they're definitely having a bit of a problem dealing with these situations. situations where they are getting into chain disables, being it the taunt, being it also the horrify on the side of the Gul'dan. But I feel like their strength right now is that they have creative drafting, not to an extent of Team Expert, not to an extent of the Mad Scientist, ADRD, but they bring in a Probius right now. They have a different approach at sometimes that really works out for them. We saw them, for example, also on Braxis, just completely having the better composition there and with their draft. So I feel they should be a little bit more worried about what they struggle against. I feel it's very individual for them, but they are very creative. They created that double support style, and they're also like very aggressive in that sense. So they just like cater more towards their strength than they did even before, and that will probably serve them really well. So I like their style a lot. Bit more discipline, and I feel they're golden.
All right, well, let's talk about the victors. Crosby, thank you for joining us. How are you, man? You guys just earned a victory.
Phew, yeah, that was really close, I would say so at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really close series. I could have gone to anyone, honestly.
Did you think that series would be so difficult going all the way to game number 5 against Synergy?
Honestly, not. Like, they played out of their minds. Like, you can really see that they didn't want to go to the Crucible. And, like, they're really putting their hearts into the game. So, like, we both played out of our hearts right now. We really wanted to win. And I guess we wanted to win the most. We ended up winning.
What was the turning moment for you and the team to say, okay, we can do this. We can win 3 in a row and actually earn a victory?
I mean, when you come back, like, of course, you get one game and you just start rolling on, you know. And from there on, like, we just we got a much more positive attitude to the game, and we just went in and say, no way we're going to lose this, boys. We're just going to go in and we're just going to win.
Awesome. Over to Caldor.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations. And I have like one specific question. After the second map, I mean, you got bodied on the second map. It was a 7-minute 50-second game. You were 0-2 after this, and you come from a loss that is that devastating. That team morale at that point must have been really at a low. So who was it?
Yeah.
How did you bring it back?
I mean, the morale was a bit low, yeah, I would agree with that. But at the same time, we still like felt like we can come back any moment. Like, we've seen so many sweeps, so like reverse sweeps. So it should be possible that, like, just keep our heads up was what we thought, and like, we can do this, yeah. Okay, awesome. And on the last map, I mean, you guys were falling behind again, and then you get those kills against Vala and the backline, especially Thurl seemed to be really on a high there. He seemed to be ready to win. Yeah. E-God. Like Knappe said, he's the E-God. He played out of his mind today, I would say that. Yeah, he played insanely well. I think like Knappe especially is like the one, like the MVP in this series, because he played like a support out of his mind. And I've never seen Knappe play this well before, so I only think that it's going to be better from now on. Wow, exciting stuff. Also, for those that don't know, it's Nappe in the back. Nappe, give us another heart real quick, man. You deserve that win. Give him a little heart. There you go. Perfect. Yeah. Before we let you go, again, congratulations on your victory today. You guys obviously deserved it. Continue to work hard and keep being awesome. But before we let you go, any shout-outs? I mean, shout-out to our sponsors back here. We have Republic of Gamers, Power.dk, the #1 world gaming laptop brands from Republic of Gamers. I heard they're really pretty good. And yeah, thanks for having us. Awesome. A big shout-out to the team for making the reverse sweep. Yeah. Super shout-outs. Awesome. Congratulations to Tricked Esports. They walk over Synergy with a 3-2 victory. Incredible series. If you came here towards the end, make sure you check out the